Let me ask you something. Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, how did we get here so fast? One minute you're running after kids or chasing careers, and the next, your knees creak a little louder, your digestion's more opinionated, and your energy isn't quite what it used to be. But here's the thing, I'm 70, and I've honestly never felt more aware of my body, my mind, and what they need to thrive. And no, I'm not on some extreme diet, I haven't joined a marathon club, and I definitely still love my coffee. What's made the real difference are 5 simple habits, small daily actions that I've stuck with, not out of discipline, but because they make me feel good. And today, I want to share those with you. But first, let me tell you why this matters. According to the Blue Zone's research, which studied the world's longest living populations, from Okinawa to Sardinia, it's not giant overhauls or miracle supplements that keep people thriving into their 80s, 90s, and even 100s. It's daily rhythms, regular movement, purposeful living, nourishing food, and strong social bonds. In short, habits. So if you're wondering, what can I do today to feel better, sharper, and more in control of my health? You're in the right place. Before we keep going, I'd love your help with something. If you're enjoying this video so far, comment Y below. If not, comment N. It helps me know what's working and what to improve. And don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't yet. Now let's dive deeper. The first habit that's been a game changer for me is waking up early and walking outside. Every single morning. I call it my mind-body reset. And it's not just about movement. It's about ritual. There's something magical about the quiet of early morning. I wake up around 6:30, stretch a little, drink a glass of warm water with lemon, and lace up my walking shoes. Nothing fancy. I don't track steps. I don't speed walk. I just go about 20 to 30 minutes. Sometimes I listen to the birds. Sometimes I pray. Sometimes I just think. Here's what's wild. Scientifically, morning walks are one of the most powerful things you can do for your metabolism and your mood. A study from the University of Georgia found that low-intensity movement, like walking in natural light, can increase energy by over 20% in older adults and reduce fatigue by nearly 65%. That's more effective than a nap or even caffeine. Plus, morning sun exposure helps regulate your circadian rhythm, your body's natural clock, which is crucial as we age. You get better sleep at night, improved digestion, and even sharper memory. And yes, it helps with vitamin D, which many people over 60 are deficient in. But here's the personal part. I started walking daily after a health scare when I turned 68. My blood pressure was creeping up, I was feeling sluggish, and I was getting irritable. My doctor said, you need to move more, and you need fresh air. That was it. No pills. Just that advice. So I started walking, just 10 minutes at first. And now, 2 years later, my blood pressure is stable, I sleep like a baby most nights, and I genuinely look forward to those walks like a friend I get to catch up with each day. If that sounds simple, it's because it is. But don't underestimate what a simple habit can do when it's done consistently. Now here's the second daily habit that's made a difference, and it might surprise you. It's how I start my eating day. Instead of diving into toast, eggs, or coffee, I begin every morning with a glass of warm lemon water, followed by a bowl of chia pudding or oatmeal topped with berries and a handful of walnuts. Why? Because after years of trial and error, I've learned that what you eat in your first meal sets the tone for your entire day. And the science backs this up. A study published in Nutrients in 2021 showed that high-fiber, slow-digesting breakfasts improve insulin sensitivity, stabilize blood sugar levels, and keep you fuller longer. That's especially important for those of us in our 60s and 70s, when blood sugar regulation naturally becomes trickier. Berries, by the way, are brain food. According to research from Harvard, older adults who consumed berries regularly had slower rates of cognitive decline. And walnuts? They're rich in omega-3s and antioxidants, great for the heart and the brain. Now, I know someone, a friend named Rita, who used to start every day with buttered toast and instant coffee. It was her comfort. But by 11 a.m., she'd crash hard, feel cranky, and grab something sugary to get through the rest of the morning. I gently nudged her to try just a 3-day switch, fiber-rich breakfast, no added sugar, and see what happens. She was skeptical, but gave it a go. 3 days turned into 3 weeks. Her energy stabilized. Her joint pain lessened. And she even dropped a few pounds without trying. Here's what I've learned. How you fuel your body, especially in the morning, is a quiet form of self-respect. You're telling yourself, I care enough to nourish you right. And you don't have to be perfect. I still enjoy the occasional croissant on Sunday. But the habit, the default, is what matters, not the exception. So those are the first two habits, morning movement and mindful first meals. They've both given me more energy, better sleep, and a clearer head at 70 than I had at 50. And in the next part, I'm going to tell you the habit that's probably done the most for my mental and emotional health. And no, it's not meditation or journaling. It's something much simpler, and something most people overlook completely. See you there. Let's keep growing strong together. Before we begin, I want to make one thing clear. This video is for informational purposes only and is based on publicly available research. Everyone's health is different, so always consult your doctor or a qualified healthcare provider before making any changes to your lifestyle, diet, or exercise routine. Scientific knowledge is always evolving, and what works for one person may not work for another. Now that we've got that covered, let's keep going with the daily habits that help me feel energized, calm, and connected at 70. So far, I've talked about two: taking a peaceful morning walk and starting the day with a nourishing, blood sugar-friendly breakfast. These two alone help build a foundation of energy and clarity. But the next one? This one's been like food for my soul. My third daily habit is this: meaningful conversation. And I don't mean scrolling through social media or texting someone a thumbs-up emoji. I mean a real, heart-to-heart conversation, whether it's 5 minutes or 50, with someone who truly listens and cares. You'd be amazed how powerful this can be, especially as we get older. A study published in JAMA Network Open in 2021 found that adults over 65 who had frequent, meaningful social interactions had a significantly lower risk of developing dementia. And the benefit wasn't just from being around people, it was from feeling emotionally connected. That's what makes the difference. I talk to my daughter almost every morning. Sometimes it's just a check-in. Sometimes she's telling me what the kids are up to. And sometimes I'm venting about my roses not blooming the way they used to. But we connect. And that connection grounds me. It reminds me that I'm still part of something bigger, that my voice matters, that I'm heard, and that I can give back, even if it's just with a laugh or a little advice. I also try to call an old friend every week. One friend, Marcia, we met in college, lives 2 time zones away. We only talk once a month, but every time we do, it's like medicine. We laugh, we remember old stories, we cry a little, and then we laugh again. It's real, it's rich, and it fills something in me that exercise and good food just can't reach. Now I get it, not everyone has a big family or a long list of friends. But here's the good news: connection doesn't require quantity. It just needs quality. One good listener. One person who remembers your birthday. Even a neighbor you can wave to and chat with about the weather. And if you truly feel alone, I've seen wonderful things happen when people join small local groups, book clubs, gardening meetups, even online communities with people who share the same interests. You don't have to say much. Just showing up is a powerful act of health. Dr. Julianne Holt-Lundstad, a social connection researcher, found that lacking strong social ties is actually more harmful to your health than smoking 15 cigarettes a day. That's how serious it is. So I treat my daily connections the same way I treat brushing my teeth or eating vegetables. It's non-negotiable. Now let's move to habit number 4. Another one that's deceptively simple but mighty powerful. It's something we all do, but most of us don't do it very well: sleep. Yes, I know. Sleep can feel like a cruel joke after a certain age. You lie down, your body's tired, but your mind suddenly wants to organize the pantry, relive an awkward conversation from 1983, or wonder if you forgot to pay that bill. Trust me, I've been there. But over time, I started treating sleep as a skill, not just a part of the day. And like any skill, it can be improved with the right habits. The biggest change for me was developing a nighttime routine that actually tells my body, it's time to wind down. About an hour before bed, I dim the lights around the house, I turn off the TV and my phone, and I make a cup of herbal tea, usually chamomile or lemon balm. Sometimes I'll do a few gentle stretches or read something uplifting. Nothing heavy, just something to signal peace. This simple routine helped retrain my body's internal clock. According to the National Sleep Foundation, adults over 65 need 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night, and consistent bedtime routines can dramatically improve both the quantity and quality of that sleep. And here's a little insight that helped me. Your brain uses sleep time to clean out metabolic waste and toxins. Think of it like a deep house cleaning. If you're cutting corners on sleep, your brain literally can't function at full strength the next day. One study from Nature Neuroscience found that poor sleep in older adults is directly linked to impaired memory and slower cognitive performance. I noticed that once I stopped watching the news late at night and gave my body those gentle cues, sleep came easier. Not perfect every night, no one gets that, but better. And better sleep means better mood, fewer cravings, less brain fog, and even steadier blood pressure. So now, let's connect the dots so far. We've got morning walks for energy and grounding, smart breakfasts to support brain and blood sugar, meaningful connection for emotional and mental strength, consistent, nurturing sleep to restore the body and mind. And yes, these are all daily habits, but they don't feel like chores. They feel like gifts I give myself. But there's still one more habit to go, and I've saved it for last because it ties everything together. It's the mindset habit that keeps me motivated, curious, and hopeful, even on the tough days. And I'll be honest, it took me years to really understand how powerful it is. We'll dig into that next. It's the one habit that changed how I see aging itself. I can't wait to share it with you. So far, we've explored the habits that help me feel more energized, connected, and rested. A peaceful morning walk, a nourishing breakfast, heartfelt conversations, and a sleep routine that truly restores me. But if I had to choose the one habit that ties it all together, the one that helps me wake up with purpose, it's this: starting each day with a sense of gratitude and curiosity. It might sound simple, maybe even too simple, but hear me out. This habit began, strangely enough, during a very difficult time in my life. I had just turned 65, and within the span of a year, I'd lost a dear friend. My knees started aching more than usual, and I began questioning what was really next for me. I wasn't working anymore, the kids were busy with their own lives, and I felt invisible, like my best days had already happened. Then one morning, I found an old notebook tucked in the back of a drawer. On the first page, I'd written a list from years earlier, things I love. It was full of little stuff: lemon tea, the sound of rain on the roof, old songs from the 60s, the smell of lavender, my grandson's laugh. That list stopped me in my tracks. It was like hearing my own soul whisper, "You're still here. You still love." So the very next morning, I made a new list. Just 3 things I was grateful for. That became my ritual. Every morning, I take a moment, sometimes right after my walk, sometimes before breakfast, and I jot down 3 things I'm thankful for, or 3 things I'm curious about that day. It can be as simple as, "I'm thankful the sun came up," or "I'm curious if the birds will come back to the feeder today." And here's the amazing part. This tiny practice has rewired how I look at everything. Gratitude changes your brain. According to a 2016 study in psychotherapy research, people who kept regular gratitude journals had significantly better mental health outcomes, including reduced depression and anxiety. Neuroscientists have found that gratitude activates the brain's reward system, releasing dopamine and serotonin, those feel-good chemicals that help us feel calm and motivated. And it's not just about mood. A study from UC San Diego School of Medicine found that heart failure patients who practiced daily gratitude had better heart health, less inflammation, and improved sleep quality. That's huge. But I didn't start this habit because of science. I started it because I needed a lifeline. I needed something that reminded me there was still beauty in each day, even if my joints hurt, even if the world felt fast and unfamiliar. And when you pair gratitude with curiosity, asking yourself, what can I learn today? Who might I help today? You start to see aging not as a decline, but as a time of deeper growth. There's a woman in my community named Eileen. She's 84 and just started learning Italian because she wants to visit Florence. Her secret? She says, "I wake up every morning with a question." That stuck with me. So now I do the same. I ask a question like, how can I move my body today with joy? Or what's one thing I can appreciate about someone else today? Some days I surprise myself. That mindset of appreciation, openness, and wonder has pulled me out of more funks than I can count. But let me be honest, it's not always easy to maintain this mindset. There are days when the news is heavy, the body is tired, or loneliness sneaks in. That's when habit becomes commitment. You don't wait to feel grateful, you choose to practice it. Even if all you can find is, "I'm grateful I have a warm cup of tea." Now, I know not everyone journals, and that's okay. Gratitude can be spoken aloud. It can be shared with someone else. One of my friends keeps a gratitude jar on her kitchen counter. Every evening, she writes one thing down, folds it up, and drops it in. When she's feeling low, she pulls a few out and remembers what's still good. Whatever form it takes, the habit of gratitude and curiosity has kept me emotionally flexible, and that's what aging well is really about. It's not about denying the hard stuff. It's about keeping your heart soft and your eyes open. It's about asking what's still possible, and sometimes it's about being willing to let go of how you thought life would be and embracing how beautiful it still is, even if it looks different than you imagined. So now let's step back and take it all in. My 5 daily habits aren't flashy. They're not expensive, but they are life-changing. Moving my body gently, eating to nourish, not just to fill, connecting with people who lift me up, sleeping to recharge, starting each day with gratitude and curiosity. These are the anchors that hold me steady, even when the waves come. And yes, the waves still come. But here's the beautiful part. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to do everything right every day. Just return to what works for you. Keep showing up. Keep caring for your body, your mind, and your spirit, because you're worth that care. And in the final part of this video, we're going to pull it all together. I'll share a few final thoughts, a powerful scientific insight, and a small challenge you can start today that might just change everything. You've come this far. Stick with me a little longer. We're almost there. If you've made it this far, I just want to take a moment and say, thank you. Truly. That tells me you're not just curious about staying healthy in your 60s, 70s, or even beyond. You're committed. You care about your life. And that matters more than any supplement, diet, or trendy routine out there. So let's gently look back on the 5 daily habits that keep me going at 70. Not just surviving, but thriving. First, I move my body every day. Not because I want to fit into a certain size or prove something, but because movement reminds me I'm alive. Whether it's a morning walk, some light stretching, or just dancing a little while I'm cooking dinner, it all counts. Second, I fuel my body with good food. Not perfect food, not Instagram-worthy meals, just balanced, nourishing meals that give me energy, help my digestion, and make me feel strong from the inside out. Third, I stay connected. Loneliness is a quiet thief. It sneaks up on you. But staying in touch with others, even just through a quick call or a smile to a neighbor, can shift your entire mood. We are wired to belong, no matter our age. Fourth, I protect my sleep. I treat it like medicine, because it is. Getting consistent, restful sleep resets my mind, calms my nerves, and supports everything from my heart to my memory. And fifth, maybe most importantly, I start each day with gratitude and curiosity. I remind myself that life, even now, still holds beauty, that I am still learning, still becoming, still capable of love, laughter, and growth. These habits didn't arrive all at once. They came slowly, like stepping stones across a river. Sometimes I missed a step. Sometimes I sat on the bank for a while. And that's okay. What matters is that I kept returning to them. And here's the thing I hope you take away from all this. It's not about doing everything. It's about doing something. Small steps, done consistently, are what create lasting change. Let me share one more story before we wrap up. I met a gentleman recently at a community event. He was 76, recovering from a heart scare, and feeling a bit overwhelmed by all the lifestyle changes his doctor had suggested. He told me, "I just don't think I can do all that. It feels too late." I said to him, "It's never too late to care for the version of you that you are today." And I really believe that. You are not the same person you were at 40 or even 60. That's not a bad thing. It's part of the journey. And right now, you deserve health, joy, and peace just as much as anyone else. Even if you start with just one of these habits, maybe going for a short walk tomorrow morning, or writing down 3 things you're thankful for tonight, that's a win. That's progress. Now let's talk science for a moment, just to ground this in something concrete. A 2020 meta-analysis published in Nature Human Behavior found that individuals who adopted even 4 out of 5 core lifestyle habits, regular physical activity, healthy diet, adequate sleep, stress management, and social connection, reduced their risk of chronic disease by up to 80%. 80%. That's not a small number. That's your power right there. You're not powerless against aging. You're not at the mercy of the calendar. You have tools. You have choices. You have time, right now, to make your later years your strongest yet. So I'll leave you with this gentle challenge. Pick one habit from what we talked about, just one, and commit to trying it for the next 7 days. No pressure, no perfection, just consistency. 1 week. Maybe it's starting your morning with 5 minutes of fresh air. Maybe it's a gratitude note before bed. Whatever you choose, let it be simple, kind, and nourishing. And remember, progress isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the quiet choice to show up again, even when no one's watching. We'd really love to hear from you. If you have any suggestions for future topics or questions you want answered, write to us in the comments below. We're here to help, and your input could inspire our next video. And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss out on more practical tips for healthy aging. Here's to living your best life at any age. You've got this, and we're right here with you.